Hi guys, hope all is well. If you're new to my channel, my name is Dr. Sisnet and I am a medical doctor located in Jamaica. I'm also a dental student who's completed my 4th year and I'm just awaiting the funds to finish my final year. Now today I have some big news. I put a lot of thought into the next decision in which I'm going to announce just now. And I want you to understand why I made this decision. So, as I mentioned, I am a medical doctor and a dental student. I hope to pursue oral and maxillofacial surgery as a profession. However, in my plight to be a surgeon, especially an oral and maxillofacial surgeon, I've come up against a lot of roadblocks. Now, even with MRCS, there are roadblocks, and I just have to say that MRCS does open a lot of employment options. However, for formal training programs, it's still quite difficult. So as you know, I've been between United States, Canada, and United Kingdom with regards to where I will be going to do my training. I've looked at Canada. Canada, you have to go back to school for 2 years. And America, you have to go back to school for 2 years as well if you're a dental graduate. In terms of medicine for Canada, many persons don't get into surgical specialties if they're non-nationals in Canada. I don't know why. And as for America, a lot of persons get into surgical specialties, but it's difficult. And the United Kingdom, a lot of people get into non-training posts. So you get into a post where you're employed by a particular deanery, but you're not necessarily in a training program. So you can have all the qualifications like MRCS, diploma in head and neck surgery, you can have ATLS and all those things, but you're just working in a post and gaining experience, not necessarily formal training. So over the last 6 months, I've been back and forth with my decision, the decision I'm about to announce. I've been back and forth. I've been trying to contact a lot of surgeons, a lot of programs in the United States, because for the most part I was dead set on going to the United Kingdom to pursue oral and maxillofacial surgery. However, I did have my reservations about the United Kingdom because there are things that aren't necessarily put in the open. For instance, you can get a non-training post, but to get a training post to become a surgeon is not as easy as they would think. It's not a situation where you just do your MRCS and then you go to the United Kingdom and you get in. You have to work on your portfolio. You have to do a lot of things like research. I mean, for the United States too, but the United Kingdom is just as difficult. So, as I mentioned before, I'm getting up in age, and I'm trying to find the shortest route to pursue oral and maxillofacial surgery. The United States comes with its problems as well too, because for one, if you do go to the United States, I've spoken to many surgeons from the United States and they say straight off, you have to go back to school for 2 years to get a CODA accredited degree, which in itself is challenging and expensive, 140,000 US dollars minimum, and that's excluding living expenses. So I don't have that, and I'm not spending it right now either. So I've come to the realization that I have basically 2 options. Either go to the United Kingdom and enter a non-training post with the hope of getting into a training post, which is not guaranteed, and possibly doing my FRCS and pursuing any kind of training I can in the United Kingdom, but it does not mean that you're formally trained in oral and maxillofacial surgery. My other option is to go to the United States, however, not as an oral and maxillofacial surgical candidate, but instead as a general surgical or plastic surgical candidate. So I've decided to pursue my USMLE Part 1. I've tried to study for it before, but I've actually given up on it. But now I have the time. I've decided to do Part 1, and I actually started studying. This is day 9, and I started off running with the USMLE U World. My plan is to do as many questions as possible, and I feel that's the key to most of these exams, is to do as many questions as possible so that you are familiar with the examination process. Now, you're probably asking, am I abandoning oral and maxillofacial surgery? No. If you do general surgery, you can actually do fellowships in plastics and then do fellowships in maxillofacial trauma, which is similar to oral and maxillofacial surgery. I am looking for a formal training. I'm not looking for a post where I'm working and not necessarily progressing. And I don't want to be, when I leave this country, I want to be in a post where I can train and then go back to my country. So if that means that I have to pursue general surgery, I have no problem with general surgery. In fact, some would say, those that have worked with me would say that I was pretty good at it. However, it's not the end game for me. My planning would be to finish the general surgical training, which should be 5 years in the United States, and then afterwards do a fellowship in plastics and move from there. So right now I'm aiming for a very high score in part 1, and that will be my guide to see if I should pursue part 2 CK. So if I get a high score, then I'll pursue step 2 CK and step 2 CS once it comes back online, because as most persons that are pursuing that route know, it's on an 18-month hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So yes, that's my plan right now. That's where it is right now. I'm going to do the USMLE part 1 and then apply for general surgery, and we'll see how that goes. So listen up for my part 1 score. I'm going to be posting quite often now, because I find I get a lot of motivation from actually posting videos and showing you how I'm studying, and it just motivates me more as opposed to sitting down at home and just trying to read. It just doesn't work that well. So I'm using First Aid and UWorld. After UWorld, I'm going to try Kaplan, and then USMLE RX, and then I see Amboss, but Amboss is kind of steep. So right now it's just the first 2, UWorld and Kaplan. Now we'll move through those questions. This is my office, by the way. I'm at work. It's been a pretty light day. Most persons are still afraid to come to the office because of COVID-19. Can't blame them. I actually wear a mask most of the time. I just took it off to get a breather, so my door is actually shut. So yeah, USMLE part 1, guys. Stay tuned.